What's up, Fire fan? My name's Kiahonfire and welcome to a Conan Exiles video. Today we're going to be looking at some of the new stations that they're bringing into the game in the 3.0 Sorcery update. Now, if you didn't know, they're adding even more crafting stations to the game, all being sorcery themed. This includes the Circle of Power, the Sacrificial Stone, the Shallow Grave, the Thaumaturgy Bench, the Demonic Portal, and that is pretty much it. So those are all the new stations we're going to be getting, and they all do new things. In Conan Exiles' most recent collab stream, they collabed with Geordie Kai on Twitch, and when they were doing that at TwitchCon, they went over a few of these new stations and a bunch of sorcery related things. Out of respect for the creator though, I'm not going to be including the footage out of that, just a few screenshots here and there. If you want to see the full version, I'll be linking it in the description down below, out of respect. So first things first, let's go over these stations. The Circle of Power. Now this is a station that works as an item retrieval system. Yes, you've heard that right. If you die on a server where you drop your items on death, you can now recall your body here and get all of your stuff back. So it essentially works kind of like a little gravestone mod, and you can go and, transport your stuff right at home for a little cost. The Circle of Power is also used to summon demonic followers and mounts, and surprisingly enough, it also summons weapons and armor that have a limited time on them, but this time only ticks down when you have the items equipped. So of course armor's probably going to tick down a lot faster because you don't realise how you have it equipped, where weapons, they come in and out of your slots now and again depending on what you're using, so as long as you're using them sparingly, they will last a lot longer. And that is pretty much what the Circle of Power does. We move on to the Sacrificial Stone, which seems to actually be a staple object you're going to absolutely need in this update. This is because it seems to be the most, this is where you craft all your blood and your souls. And basically what you do is you'll bring an unconscious thrall to the Sacrificial Stone, you strap them on, and then you're going to either drain soul essence from them, as Andy was explaining in the stream, or you can drain blood for rituals. So I'm guessing for a lot of the sorcery stuff you're going to need to do, you're going to need blood for a lot of these rituals and stuff. So this is going to be an absolute core material, core crafting station you're going to absolutely need. So you're going to be sacrificing quite a lot of thralls, because as well as that, the soul essence you drain will be used to corrupt your perks, as discussed in a previous article on their news pages. So you're going to be using, thralls a lot and getting lots of unconscious ones. It would be worth having one of these near a camp, because you're going to need to do a lot of harvesting of souls and blood for these new stations and new things. Next we move on to the Shallow Grave, and this is used to raise the dead by throwing an unconscious NPC in there, and it has to be an archer or a fighter. And then it will give you a temporary, very powerful fighter, apparently, that will be undead. There are male and female variants of this by the looks of it, from what I've seen in screenshots and in video. Next we move on to one of the ones that is probably the most exciting for a lot of people, which is the Demonic Portal, aka this works as your own obelisk. So it works as a waypoint for fast travel, and apparently is clan only. So you can't use it like the map room is used on your usual server where you can go anywhere, and this can also be used in Sipta, so this is going to be a very handy way to get around Sipta, which does not have obelisks. Apparently though, this is the maximum sorcery ward he was mentioning, so it's more like an endgame sorcery knowledge as far as we know. And this item will also have to be maintained, so it might be possible that you might need to fuel it or something like a furnace or something like that, or just make sure it's maintained like your base is. One of the two, but they did mention it would have to be maintained. Next we come to the Thaumaturgy Bench, which is again like another staple apparently. You can use this to apply illusions to your items, aka a transmog system. If you don't know what that is, that's reskinning items, so you can give them any look that you like. Same with armor and all that. And apparently this bench is also used to upgrade your sorcery book, which I found very interesting because they haven't really mentioned anything about a sorcery book so far. So Andy goes to elaborate in the stream about a sorcery book, and he says it's something you pick up at the start of your journey of becoming a sorcerer. So it's the very first thing you're going to need, and the very first thing you're going to obtain if you want to do this thing. Apparently, you obtain this item and then you upgrade it in the Thaumaturgy Bench using various materials to increase the amount of spells you know. And it teaches you how to build new crafting benches as well, which I'm going to assume is the new ones that they're bringing in that we've already mentioned. They also mention as well that the arcane focus, aka the little wand they have, is if you lose it, you can rebuild one here. So this is going to be for upgrading your book, and I'm going to assume that you'd probably need this book to be able to cast spells or know things, or maybe it's just like a little recipe book you have together, and the more you upgrade it, the more your character will learn and know, and that's going to be a mechanic in the game. So if you want to learn spells, you're going to need a sorcery book, and you're going to need to upgrade this sorcery book to learn new things, and it will give you new things. So that's quite an interesting way to do it. And they did mention when it does come to casting, you'll get all these rocks in front of you, and basically how you cast and use spells is it's going to be like an interactive menu with these rocks. You select the category of spell and then the spell you want to cast. So we were seeing a lot in the stream that they were selecting these different rocks to go into different categories and then selecting different spells. So it might be quite time consuming to choose these spells through this menu and cast. So it might not be as ideal for PvP as we once thought, but however, if you did have a lot of people, then maybe it could be more useful because you're going to need a distraction. And this brings me on to my next thing, which they said might be useful to use your casting behind, is a new spell they're adding in. And this is called, I think it's Firewall they said, or a Lava Wall. In the stream they showed it and it came out of the ground. Basically what it does is it's a physical obstruction and it will deal damage to you if you touch it, and it does heat damage. So essentially as well, if you wanted to, you know, slay a big camp of thralls, you could just, you know, bring this big wall up and they'll walk into it or something and then they'll all die, and that's easy clap, you know, happy days. That's pretty cool. They also mentioned in the stream that they don't plan to tie sorcery to religion at all. I thought this was like a little bit of a miss out here, but they said it didn't require anything, so this is their reasoning that you wouldn't need any religions to do certain types of sorcery. I think they are missing out something really cool here that could be done, but then again, it's also nice that you don't need extra requirements for this sorcery because it already sounds like it might be quite grindy. For those wanting a timescale of when this is coming out in the actual stream, Andy said Test Live is coming out soon, in a matter of weeks. And this video came out about 9 days ago, now that I thoroughly looked through it and everything. In a matter of weeks, so we could be looking soon. He didn't say months, he said weeks. So we could be looking very, very soon for a Test Live update where we get to see everything in person in a test format. This doesn't mean it's coming out officially, this means it's coming out on PC to test. So you can't have it as an actual game and, you know, blah blah blah, have fun with it. You can just check out what's there and help them test it out on a larger scale is basically what that is. So that's what we're going to be seeing hopefully soon. If he said a matter of weeks, hopefully we will see this update very, very soon. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful about the new things you might be able to expect in this upcoming update. Thanks for watching, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!